Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim, and today we'll be doing our February wrap-up. Hey guys, so this month I managed to read 5 books total. Of those 5 books, one of them was The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas, and that was our chosen read at the Haunted Corners book club. Again, I will post a link to their Twitter in the description box below if you'd like to join. They feature a new horror book every month as their monthly read, and their Discord has lots of space for chatting about the book of the month. It was a super spooky book. The antagonist, Sawyer, is a ghost who was killed in horrific circumstances. At first, you kind of loathe this guy, and then as you get to understand his situation, there is a degree of empathy. It's hard to avoid. But he is got it in for Jake. He is going to get Jake, and Jake is a medium. And as a medium, he is one of the few people that Sawyer can connect with. So this story has so many twists and turns. The story is heartbreaking in places, and it also is an excellent commentary on what it's like to be a young Black man in white America. But not only that, a gay Black man in white America. So definitely a great read. I give this one a 5 out of 5. The next book I read was The Indie Author Revelation by Dina M. Beavis. And she highlights the self-publishing industry and a few of the ins and outs, and really stresses that you need a lot of gumption. A lot of gumption if you're gonna go this route. I read it for her insight and for any little tips and tricks I might be able to glean and advice. And I give this one a 4 out of 5. I was a little put off by it only because she sort of seems to imply that not everyone can self-publish, and I disagreed with that. Anyone can self-publish. Next was Cress by Melissa Meyer, and this is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it's basically fairy tales in outer space. And I just love that premise. That premise is so much fun. And this one features, so the first few books were all about different characters. So Cinder, which was obviously Cinderella. She's sort of our protagonist in the whole overall series. And the next one, Scarlet, was a Red Riding Hood take. And this one is about a Rapunzel type character. So again, I love this whole series. I really enjoy the sci-fi factor and having our fairy tale heroines out in space trying to overthrow an evil lunar queen. And it's great. It's great. Read it. I give this one a 5 out of 5. And I also read Blood-Sucking Fiends by Christopher Moore. And I picked this one up because I felt like it sort of was in the same line of the genre of horror that I'm trying to write at the moment, sort of a horror comedy-esque, and actually it wasn't. But regardless, it was still a very good book. It's about a vampire attacking San Francisco, and this vampire has like weird motives. He's looking for company or something, and he just arbitrarily attacks this woman, and she becomes our protagonist. She is a kind of navigating the waters as a fledgling. She gets a friend. They become lovers, and this is a human boy about 19 years old who basically becomes her daytime agent. Well, she can't go out in the day. And the overall premise was a lot of fun. There's like this homeless man, and he considers himself the king of San Francisco and the guardian of Mexico or something. And he's a fantastic character. He has these 2 dogs, and they are his men. And he's bound and determined to uncover this blood-sucking fiend and protect his city. It's a great story. It's a lot of fun. It is funny, and it's definitely a love story. It is a love story, which, I mean, it says right there on the cover that it's a love story, so I should have known. I give this one a 4 out of 5, only because the humor wasn't quite where I would have liked it to be, but the overall story and the characters were fabulous. And the last thing that I read this month was Hench by Natalie Zena Walshots. And this is sort of a take on a superhero story, but it is about our villains. So it starts with our protagonist, who is a freelance hench, and she tends to take office jobs. She excels at data entry and spreadsheet management. She is very good at looking for patterns and deciphering the data she's getting in. And so she takes a series of low-level office jobs, essentially. Until one office job goes horribly, horribly wrong, where the villain she's working for decides to use her as a prop in one of his supervillain weapon demonstrations. And she gets attacked by a superhero who is obscenely strong and ends up shattering her leg. And this instance sets her off in a mission to take out this hero, the super collider. And she creates this collection of information wherein she's trying to prove to the world that heroes are a liability to the world as a whole. And while she's recovering and she's creating this spreadsheet and releasing this information to the world, she's picked up by a new villain who gives her a contract. And this villain's name is Leviathan. He's really dynamic. He's quite a character. I really enjoyed him. He's kind of, off in the distance and sort of standoffish, but he's obviously interested in her, and you can just tell throughout most of his story that he has a lot of anger and unfinished business with the hero world, in particular Super Collider. And this is the story of our hench kind of rising through the ranks and becoming a supervillain, low-level supervillain in her own right. I really enjoyed this one. I picked it up because I saw it as a book a friend of mine read. She's reading the Little Free Library 50 book reading challenge along with me. And this one fits the category as something on the Canada Reads list. So I took her advice. I read this one and I loved it. I give this one a 4, no, I'm lying. I give this one a 5 out of 5. And that's it for books I read this month. Only 5 again, trying to focus mostly on my writing this year while still maintaining my bookwormish habits. Kind of unrelated to books, I just wanted to touch on it. I'm not really a political person, and I don't like to keep controversial topics on my Bookstagram channel because that's not its purpose. Its purpose is books. But I wanted to just briefly touch on the situation between Russia and Ukraine. It's pretty devastating. I used to work at a nursing home that was run by Ukrainian Catholic nuns, and these are fantastic women. They're great people, and I'm feeling for them right now as they and the residents in the care home watch their homeland getting torn apart. It's horrible. It's horrible. War is not a good thing. But I also just wanted to remind the world that the average Russian citizen isn't the bad guy in this. It's Putin, ultimately, right? He's the mastermind, I guess. And I wanted to just sort of draw your attention to a YouTube channel that I follow. It's a gentleman named Roman. He is a Russian citizen, just your average Joe, and his channel sort of specializes on life in Russia as a regular person. And I really like watching this channel because it gives a fun perspective into another culture and another country, and I just wanted to draw your attention to him. He posted this rather poignant video. He's very frustrated about the situation, and he wants the world to know that he doesn't support this. He does not support this war, and same with most of the Russian citizens. So I just wanted to give a little reminder out there to the world that war is bad. And we don't, this is horrible, and it makes me so sad. It just breaks my heart, and I feel for Roman just trying to get by as a regular dude. So this is my little shout out to the citizens of Ukraine and the Ukrainian population in my own hometown area, province, and also to the average Joe in Russia. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. This is a horrible thing to happen. And I just want y'all to know I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. And I hope that this situation is over soon. So on that kind of depressing note, that's it for me. Okay, book nerds, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you read any of the books I've mentioned here today? And if so, what did you think? And as always, happy reading.